is looking good. Tidehunter and Skywrath Mage. Razor will be picked up from Dust Gaming. Take it away.
Is it sad that I never get tired of seeing any of these heroes right now? The meta is so wide open.
It's very sad.
I can't. I love Tidehunter. He's so good. Same with like Razor. Wraith King is one of those niche pickups that I think we don't see as often as we should in the amateur scene versus the professional scene, but he's so good at what he does. Intentionally runs in, Deathball dies, and as he's dying, it just provides such a benefit to his team when he goes down in the front line. It's insane. Like the things that guy can do.
You talk about Razor like that, because every other caster I cast with or every other person that I talk with is all like, Razor, we hate this hero. We hate watching him. We hate casting him. Oh, man.
Okay, but
really go against the grain.
So back when I played like Magic the Gathering on like Pro Tour, everyone was like, "Oh God, I hate control. I hate it." And I'm that guy who loves control, and then they're like, control versus control is the most boring thing in the world. Like, I was a guy who was like, no, you don't understand. There's so many amazing things that happen that are just intricate, like stacks on stacks, and you have to logically kind of make things happen. I feel like Razor provides such an interesting dynamic because, like Viper, he's got that corrosive skin element that's even better because it increases his movement speed. It's so awesome.
Well, you were the one sitting there cheering your brains out for the TI4 final, so I'd expect nothing less from you. But if we're to take a look here, it's going to be the Brewmaster pickup and the Disruptor. Going away from Razor for a little minute. I know you really like this hero, but let's take a step back and take a look at all the other meta heroes that we're seeing, and maybe some not so meta. Brewmaster, Tidehunter will be the ones, and Skywrath Mage also from Infected Gaming. We see those all the time. The Earthshaker to set up the Skywrath Mage's Mystic Flare and the rest of his kit, but Disruptor coming out, that's a hero we don't see very often, and to be perfectly honest, against Brewmaster, against Tidehunter, against everything on Infected Gaming, a Static Storm, you can't really count this one out.
I really think this is going to be such a fun game to watch. There's already such a gun show going on with Infected, but at the same time, they don't have a ton of damage other than the Brewmaster and Skywrath Ultimate. Yes, you do have a Echo Slam to follow up the Tidehunter, but that's a lot. And I mean a ton of gun show right there. They need to pick up a good carry to hold down the damage front. But already, you could pick up anything. Like, Wraith can go support, right? You stick Razor either in middle or even in your safe lane. You could still pick up a brutal middle and even something like a Centaur, Warrunner, Timbersaw. Like, name any really good strength hero in that off lane, and you have an instantly exciting lineup. You could pick up Krob if she wasn't banned in this lineup, and it would just be so good. Like, the fact that she's first ban speaks volumes about what these teams want to do. Same with Lycan. Like, no one wants to deal with that level of push, but it can still come down. So there's the Centaur. I got my wish at least on that front, but they have the ability to respond, and that's why I think you hold a Razor pick like that as long as you do. He's so versatile in the fact that he can actually be the farm carry in this instance and have it completely make sense.
Yeah, and it's just all around Dust Gaming, and both Infected and Dust Gaming, you can really kind of see where their drafts are going. I mean, Infected Gaming, they have plenty of setup, plenty of team fight going around it. Every single hero kind of synergizes with the next. I mean, Earthshaker goes well with Skywrath Mage. It can set up a good a Ravage, and it can set up the Thunderclap into the Primal Split, whereas Dust Gaming, they have the Static Storm and Disruption pulling them back to the Centaur Warrunner. Plenty of chase, plenty of lockdown. Well, lockdown, I say so tentatively, but lots of chase, lots of stun, and you know, they have a great potential for finding pickoffs and killing pickoffs and really locking down that one hero in the team fight that they need to lock down, namely the Brewmaster, 9 times out of 10.
It's all going to be, for me, about the lanes. Like, really depends on what they go here. And now they should dip into this reserve time. This draft is fired off so insanely quick that I think it hasn't afforded teams the opportunity to really think it through. I don't understand the Tinker ban in the sense that there's not a ton of push coming out from the Infected lineup. It's not like they had a Shadow Shaman on support or middle or something that you knew was going to push down these towers and back him up with the AoE and Brewmaster ult, but I mean, maybe we still see some push element come out. That's the only time I feel like Tinker is insanely effective is he split pushes, he locks lanes down, he has the ability to go Scythe late game and lock down one person, but I don't think he's detrimental against someone like a Brewmaster unless you really catch him out and he's not able to respond. But you have Earthshaker to hold down the fort, you have your Tidehunter to blink in, Skywrath to silence. Like, there's a lot of disruption I feel like could have stopped that hero from coming online, and maybe it's just one of those knee-jerk bans, which is that's fine. That's more than okay. They really just need a solid carry to hold the fort down, and it's going to be through the Invoker, which I like this synergy that he has via AoE with Tidehunter and Earthshaker. So he's going to have to go pretty deep into something like Exort and see what can happen, but I still think they keep Brew on the middle lane depending on what happens here.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, like, I've seen actually the Invoker take a carry role more times than I've seen him take. Okay, not more times than I've seen him take a mid, but
recently I agree with you.
Yeah, and he can do it. There's a lot of room for him to lane, and typically you think of him, a lot of heroes, as heroes that are intensely, well, level dependent. Templar Assassin's the same way, but we saw it get run as a carry the other night. Now, wasn't as effective because the draft just kind of seemed weird that time, but overall, these two heroes can play in a carry role, and they work out very well. So, you know, I'm not surprised if we see him take the safe lane. If he does take the mid, though, I've also seen the Brewmaster take an aggressive carry role. So, I don't know. We'll wait and see. For the time being, though, it's going to be, as we introduce the teams, Infected Gaming. Sparks will be the Invoker pickup for this draft. It's going to be Mother. Okay, I'm just going to call him Mother on the Skywrath Mage. We got Katya is going to be on this. Oh, no, I'm just going to call him Ban. Jeez, these guys' names are really difficult to read. He's going to be on the Earthshaker, Noob Style on the Brewmaster, and Boo, that's an easy one, on the Tidehunter.
All right, and for the Dust Squad, it's been a minute since we cast them. I believe it was last week. Mate on the Wraith King had a couple of amazing Sand King games. Hopefully we can see that high echelon play come out of him tonight. 470 on the Centaur Warrunner, Loki 57 Disruptor, Heisenberg Razor, and Handball Middle on the Templar Assassin. I have
really
to ask,
like to go all over the map when you're announcing these guys. I can't follow you, dude.
Yeah. Oh, don't follow me. Follow who I'm announcing. My bad. When I'm announcing, I'm looking for things.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. This is the result. Yeah, this is the result of me like really just never being a cameraman ever because my internet hates me.
All right. Well,
like my
that aside,
is stopped.
you were saying before you
yes,
before we went off on that
Brewmaster versus Templar. How do you feel about that matchup? But because before, oh yeah, I feel like he takes it. Like, but this is my issue. Dust picked Brewmaster like into it, so they are running the Invoker mid. This is weird.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can run him there.
We mentioned that Brewmaster is now. Typically, when I see Brewmaster get run as a carry, it's an offensive tri lane. What, does he win that lane? Oh,
I'm pretty sure he wins middle. No. I'm pretty sure he just wins middle.
He wins middle. No, he wins any aggressive lane that he drafts in. Now, he's usually an aggressive tri-lane against the enemy's tri-lane. That works out better. I think in this particular lane, it could be a bit of an issue because he's not going to be able to get aggressive in this lane. The Centaur is not going to give him that option unless we're really going to miss out on what the Centaur is thinking. But I think Invoker actually does win this lane as well, though. I mean, if he goes Quas Exort Invoker, then he can prop up the Forge Spirits really quickly, burn down the Refraction Shield, and have no trouble dealing with a Templar Assassin. I mean, a relatively squishy hero, once her refraction goes down, you pop it off and then you throw the Cold Snap, she will melt. Whereas a Brewmaster, even though he will win that lane, it may not be with as much ease. So I don't know. I think Invoker might win this lane a little bit more than the Brewmaster ever would. But I'm actually surprised that they didn't run this as an aggressive tri lane, because that's where a Brewmaster, if you ever run him as a carry, will thrive in.
I think he doesn't necessarily win against the Razor is my only real concern. I think that Tide withstands that lane as best he could. I like to see when Tides actually cut into the tree line and they're able to just like try and absorb out some XP. They grab an early port because nothing really here that these guys do will shut down his port from going off except for Wraith King's single stun. So if they don't pop that immediately, chances are he just gets away, and that's fine. So they're actually converging on him right now. Wraith King headed that way. He did use his actual stun on a creep, and we'll see what they can do. It should just be some light harass here, but Razor moves up, try to get some static link off.
I think there was a bit of miscommunication going on that one. You saw the ping come out onto Mate. I think they wanted Mate to go ahead and throw the stun there, maybe get a static link off, and throw down a couple of bits of damage on the Boo. But they're just going to be happy with Loki doing what he's doing, throwing out the Thunder Strike on the Boo to get some extra attack damage. And Thunder Strike is incredible in the early game. I mean, the damage it does, if you point out 1 point or 2 points in it, will harass nearly anybody out of lane. I see it time and time again. So I think Boo is going to have a little bit of trouble dealing with that one. Now Disruptor's got to point up into his glimpse. If they want to make a go on him, they can. And here it is. The moment it gets released, they're going to go ahead and throw a static link on, but out comes the Hellfire Blast, and, well, Boo is dead. Throw him to the fountain, says Heisenberg. First blood goes to him.
They need that. Centaur is living on a knife's edge right now. He really has Earthshaker looking for some good opportunities to fisher out that lane, cut off an escape route. And Panda, if he gets one clap off, maybe two, they can deal so much damage to an early Centaur that doesn't have much in the way of items. And so I think Boots, again, the appropriate pickup for him.
Yep.
So we'll see where it goes from there. But if they don't win, obviously, that bottom lane and they do yield a kill to Brewmaster, it could turn into an early spiral situation where you have a Brew that has way too early of a blink, and he's already game leading in CS, so you don't want it to become detrimental. So Handball also doing well in the mid lane. Worth mentioning the fact that he's 12 for 5 against an Invoker who's 12 for 9, so both kind of going even, and the only reason he's really behind right now is he actually had to go bottle that regen rune, and it actually allowed, I think, Invoker a little bit of time to catch up there, but hopefully it plays into an advantage later for him as they're making decent use of the jungle, trying to see what they can do. Regen activated, gonna bring him up hopefully to full mana as long as Invoker doesn't do anything here.
So one thing you got to watch out here.
Top lane, Fisher cut off.
Yep, we're gonna see a
and
cut
it looks
off
like, yeah,
onto that 470.
Slam down in 470. Yeah, sorry, Thunder. Don't
worry about it. They're going to go throw out the stomp, though, and motherfucker, he's just going to... No, actually, he's not going to die here. 470 will drop, as expected. He doesn't get the return kill on the Mother here, and he will walk away with about 150 damage to his name. Not too poor of an engagement for them, as it's an offlaner for an offlaner so far. The trouble is, though, as I wanted to point out before that engagement happened, you take a look, there are 2 ancient camps down here, 3 actually already stacked up. And if this once this Tidehunter gets, what is it? It's either 2 and 4 or 4 and 2 for W and E respectively, the Kraken Shell and the Anchor Smash, then he can just go ahead and farm up these Ancients. No problem whatsoever.
It's 2 and 4.
I think both work, actually, to be perfectly honest. But ideally, it's 4 and 4, to be perfectly honest.
Sure.
But once he can farm those up effectively, he's going to go ahead and just find that Blink Dagger incredibly fast. And once that gets out for him, well, actually, it's going to be a little bit more difficult as a great Sentry Ward comes out to block the respawning of that camp. They know that the Tidehunter is in that offlane position. They know that he can go ahead and stack and farm those up. So the logical choice for that is to go ahead and block it. So great play coming out from them. It's the little things that'll hinder this Tidehunter the most here, as he's still sitting level 2, barely touching level 3, where his opponent, 470 in the respective lane, is already at level 5.
This Razor is really confusing me with the play. He's not keeping the ebb and flow back of the lane so much. He actually just sniped out a range creep, and he should be kind of keeping it closer to his tower, which would allow his Disruptor to keep it back, I think, a bit more. Now he's doing a good job balancing, but I think he's so focused on these denies that he's really lost himself a little bit of farm when he's gone uncontested, unlike the Centaur Warrunner. Now rotating over to middle is 470, seeing if he can get on top of Sparks, who is playing pretty far back, runs over a regen rune. They know exactly what's going on because both sides actually have a ward on the Ancient Hill. So gonna back off there. Both support rotating down to see if they can actually find anyone here. It's going to be TA. They're going to have a Fisher to start it off if they elect to use it, but they're not going to get there in time. Just a few steps behind, enough to pop the smoke and actually reveal it.
We've got Demate and Loki. They're going to go in. They might want to try to catch out Sparks here, but they know that there are 2 supports waiting to contest this one. The smoke goes out onto Mudder, but it looks like Ban, he is out of the smoke now. Here comes the initiation onto Handball. They don't have a stun, though. They do have a Fisher. They're going to try to kill up Handball, but the refraction keeping him alive for too long. Now a Sunstrike goes down, not enough to do really anything in that. There is going to be disruption, pulling Ban back, but not able to get a kill. Instead, it's going to be Handball going out onto Sparks, dealing a ton of damage. Now he's on the Ban. One auto attack. Can he get it? He won't get it. Sparks and Ban both get away. Mate, though, he's going for the dive. He wants the Hellfire Blast, but will get fissured up and not able to chase any further, taking way too much damage from the tower. Had Sparks saved his Sunstrike a little bit longer, he may have been able to go ahead for a Sunstrike's snipe off onto the Wraith King. But now it's looking a little bit difficult. Actually, handball goes in onto Sparks, is not done. Mel's up, will miss the Mel Strike. Now he's going to get concussive shotted up. Ban is right behind him. There is an enchant totem, throws down the refraction shield. No Forge Spirits to burn down these refraction charges, and he should be just fine. Psionic Trap will slow up the trifecta of Infected as they just go ahead past their 2-2 tower and run to safety. Just a terrible engagement so far for Infected.
All around.
Yeah, as Dust, they take a great little bit of a lead here.
Oh my god. Apparently Dust thinks they're a bunch of submarines right now. That was a whole lot of diving.
Man, okay, we talked about puns a little while ago. That was just a little bit too bad, dude.
Come on, come on.
I want to laugh, but at the same time, I'm just face palming way too hard.
Like, oh man. It's 8 minutes into the game and they're just diving tier 1s at level 4. He doesn't even have his ultimate, and still, it's just so confusing. Ty gonna get on top of it, Mate in trouble. And Mate gonna go down right here, but not for a price, it looks like. Sunstrike going to miss, and Mate will live, actually. It looks like they're gonna be able to turn it around. Heisenberg on top of Boo takes him down, and still might yet pick up Ban, but no. Doesn't want to dive the tower. Instead, it's going to be Skywrath on the chopping block. I really don't want to say his name, so I avoided it.
I'm just calling him Mother.
Double kill for Heisenberg. Can I call him Mota?
You can call him Mota. I'll call him Mother. Yeah, well, we should be consistent. Mota or Mother? Let's call a vote. I vote Mother.
All right, fine. I'll go with you. You're the one driving this car. I'm not going to side-seat drive.
Man. Well, driving away as we talk about what's been going on the past couple of minutes. Dust just taking team fight after good team fight, and now I mean they've got themselves a pretty sizable amount of advantage so far. I mean they've given themselves about a 3,000 gold advantage, XP the same direction, and now is going to be a Psionic Trap onto Sparks. They're throwing down the ice wall to try to stop him, but the Stampede goes right through that. Handball trapped in the middle of creeps and some kinetic field, actually stopping Mutta from running away. It stops Sparks as well, and they go ahead and destroy Mutta's chances of going to the fountain alive. Instead, he takes a trip the long way. And now down, it looks like they want to try to go ahead and clean up Handball. Fisher comes from downtown, but they're not able to do enough damage as Dust grab another 2 kills here in game 1 of the best of 2 between Dust and Infected.
Both dipping below 100 HP at either point. A port really could have shut it down, I think. And it's just unfortunate for this Infected squad. And it's so funny to see, you know, how far behind when we cast, I think it was like SNA versus Dust last week. And SNA just had their way with Dust. And Dust is so on top of things. It looks like the bounce back is real for them. Might be a minor skill gap between these teams, but it doesn't look like Infected is playing that poorly. They're trying to do the right rotations, and now slow up on Kada right now. So Ban in a lot of trouble. Handball, huge melt strike right there, but he doesn't have refraction up. It's still going to be enough to secure the kill as he had the backup there from Loki, and it looks like they are just taking a commanding lead. The announcer following suit. Radiant side owning, and Dust cleaning up at 7-1, just 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, this is where you gotta be kind of afraid right now. The snowball is real from Handball, and when you're dealing with a Templar assassin like this, you cannot let her snowball the way she is. I mean, she's 3-0-1, level 9, 800 gold on top of phase drums. It's 10.5 minutes. I mean, she's down on the net. I mean, on the last hit chart, but on the net worth, she's very close to the top, exceeding that with the highest last hits, which is the Brewmaster. He's been free farming in this top lane pretty much. 73-20 at 11 minutes, approaching double digits by the 14-minute mark, which is ideal. And he's still not on top of the net worth chart. Now, a Hellfire Blast will fly out, get disjointed by the Blink. There is going to be a kinetic field flying out from Loki. A little bit of... you know, I can't help but wonder if they're playing on insane lag right now, because it feels like that they're just playing disjointed from each other.
Potentially. Isn't one of the teams South American, or am I wrong?
I think it was El Salvador that they said they were playing from. I need to look back. Argentina, I think. Someone said it in chat.
Okay.
El Salvador. El Salvador.
You set it to East server, correct? Like on the search in the lobby?
US East. That's
okay.
Where it has to be.
There's such a big difference. Yeah, it's such a big difference between. It actually is funny because I was watching JDL when SNA was playing, and they had to play on a South American server, and it was so confusing because there's such a big difference when you play those ping gaps, and very few players can bridge that gap. The only one I know, hold on one second, is it looks like Sparks getting chased down middle lane. Loki trying to gap him in, but all it's going
to
do
Mel
is
strike out. A couple of auto attacks will go on to Sparks. Now there is going to be a Sunstrike. Try to save his life a little bit, but the Ancients come in. Cannot deny himself to the Ancients, so I think that was the idea. Now way over from, the glimpse back. Boo will get cleaned up. They throw out the Fissure just a second too late. I wonder if they could have gotten that Fissure
too far
on the high
behind.
ground. I wonder, but yeah, it's a moment where it's just a little bit too little too late. That Fissure would have been great in any other respect had they not been so goddamn far behind, but at the moment, it just feels like a stomp from Dust, and, I hate to throw out that word because at the moment, no team likes to say they've been stomped, but Dust have just gotten themselves so much of an advantage so quickly. 5,000 by 12 minutes.
Yep.
I mean, that's not like game winning. I mean, there is...
You stole the words out of my mouth, though. That's exactly what I was going to reference. 5K at this low of a minute marker is huge because you have to consider it is much less experience to level.
Yeah, however, I mean, the stat is, I think, 10,000 at 13 minutes is 100% win rate. I would imagine 5,000 is still maybe 70 to 80, but it's not like they've lost the game by giving themselves this much of a disadvantage. However, they gave it to a Templar Assassin. They gave the advantage to the hero who, with simply phase drums Yasha and maybe a blink on top of that, can solo 5 heroes. I mean, it's crazy. Halves ban. Halves it. No effort at all. Meld strike in. 2 shots to follow. Ban is dead. Gone off the face of the earth, and Handball is playing this immaculately. I mean, he's doing incredibly well in this lane, not to mention that he's gotten a ton of kills on top of that. 6-0-1. He might just find more.
Sparks,
if he can find a Meld here, they are going to go ahead, and they have Dust. This is how prepared these guys are. This is how on top of it these guys are.
He's going to get Moda.
Now they're going to get Moda. They're going to actually Handball. He's going to run away. Noob Style does come in. Actually, can he kill Noob Style? Mel's up onto the high ground waiting for Noob to chase. Noob is just a little bit on top of this. Will not go up onto the high ground, but just incredible play. 11-2, 14 minutes, and it just goes deeper and deeper, or rather, in context of the graph, it goes higher and higher. As they're going to try to make it go on to Handball. Refraction goes up, concussive shot will fly out, but they do get the Stampede to negate that one out. A Primal Split will go out to try to burn through the Refraction charges, but a one-shot on Moda will clean him up. Just look at the Brewlings fall. Handball, he's cleaning them up. They do get a Ravage. They can clean up Handball. 933 gold, but an instant buyback. Look at the stomp, catches out 4, and in comes Handball. They're looking for more. Ban will get clean. Heisenberg in. Boo will get clean. Handball wants more. He wants Sparks. He is in Ghost Walk, but do they have another Dust ready to go? They do. Sparks is in a lot of trouble. 1 auto attack, 2 auto attacks, Psionic Trap. They walk through the field of ice, but they cannot quite find the plasma field. It doesn't matter. Their move speed way too high. Trying to deny to Ancients. He will not Ancients, regular creeps, but he won't even be close. His Templar Assassin cleans him up. No time at all. I think this is pretty close to being GG at the moment. As shifting quick up into the top lane, Mate could be in a little bit of trouble. Infected looking for a kill, but he's got his ultimate here. He's got his reincarnate. They clean him once, but can they clean him again? He's going to turn around, throw out the Hellfire Blast. In comes Moda. Doesn't have his Mystic Flare. They stun out his teleport with an Echo Slam. He will die, but at what cost?
I'm not even sure anymore it means anything. He's a support in the spectrum of things against Handball, who's such a monster. That buyback made all the difference in the world to just get them right on top of this game. Infected, the moment it happened, should have instantly retreated. Disruptor made such huge plays. Like, hats off to Loki for making all of that happen twice. Like, I cannot even believe the amount of damage that came out from Handball against those Brewlings. He soloed them in 2 shots, man. Like 2 shots, they were at 1/3 health apiece. And now he literally dies. And, oh my god, again taking out Skywrath Mage, not able to do anything from this Infected side. Glimpse back on Sparks. Sparks gonna die. Again, Ice Wall on top of the tower, doesn't matter. This is just GG. Let's go to next, boys.
Yeah, this is when you just have to save face at the moment. I mean, Infected isn't far behind Dust by any means. I mean, Dust is a great team, but Infected not too terrible, judging by the recent stats in CEVO. So, I mean, they just need to go ahead and rethink this one a little bit. They drafted a kind of awkward lineup versus what Dust had a very greedy lineup. They laned it very awkwardly, and they're paying for it right now. They didn't quite get the farm on the heroes they needed to get farmed. They didn't quite get the snowball they required to get. and they're really just struggling to find anything across the map. I mean, Boost, let's talk about this Tidehunter. He did have the Ancient farm, and he took stacks upon stacks of Ancients, and it still doesn't make a difference. And, oh man, the cheeky plays, they send Sparks all the way back to the fountain.
And why not, you know? I mean, if you have a Disruptor who's this far on top of his game, normally it's Mate we're talking about, but I have no problem talking about Loki, right? So Handball Invis right on top of, you know, Noob, and maybe he's looking for a silence here. Thank God that was not a Sentry Ward, otherwise he would have gotten caught out and the jig would have been up, but he wants it, and here they go. Loki in the backfield. Static Storm just came off cooldown. They're going to have a go. He should open with it, honestly, and actually opens up Kinetic Field. Skywrath at least gets an ultimate off onto 470, but it's not going to do much. 3 down already, 4th going down. Noob still not splitting, waiting until the last second. If he gets any sort of silence on or stun, he's in trouble, but he does get the Brewlings off. 470 jets on out of there, and they're going to look to take down the Brewlings. He is trapped in right now, but stun up, and he looks to get at least the Earth Spirit away, but Handball going to capitalize, not wanting the chase to be over. Looks like the ultimate will expire. Glimpse back, maybe. Doesn't do much except for moving back 2 feet. 470's there, though, and he misses the stun. Oh, man, it looks like they're just going to have to back off this one. Handball still doesn't want to, right on top of Sparks. This guy's insane. And he finally backs up. 3 on top of him. Has refraction charges burn away. He still has melt at his disposal. Noob tries to blink forward. Amazing reaction time there. Finally gets him out. And Heisenberg's the one in trouble in the hot seat. So Infected, bite back, Echo Slam down. Heisenberg going to fall. 3 down for Dust. 470 as well. Courier looks like it's going to go down and get it off of a sick blink out of Noob style into the trees. God, cargo worth 3K? That's a stat that comes up on the screen?
Wait, it was worth 3,000? What the hell was on that courier?
I don't know.
Was that the finished Desolator or the finished BKB, whatever Templar Assassin?
We can find out what it is, right?
Do you have the courier hotkey? Because I still have to bind that one.
Yes, way, I do. It was Staff of Wizardry, Ogre Club, and Blade of Alacrity.
Wow. So I think just a lot of items, not really anything huge, but just all adding up to a lot. Now they're going to go ahead and go on and glimpse back Moda. He will end up dropping here. A very nice combination of kills, but it looks like across the map, did anyone else die? Centaur Warrunner goes ahead and cleans up Sparks. So where they lost a ton of heroes in that last fight, Dust aren't going to let up the pressure anytime soon. They don't want to throw this game, where you can take a look at the golden XP graphs. It drops about 2,000 in golden XP, maybe XP hitting closer to 5,000 drop, but they aren't going to let up the pressure, and you can already see the graphs are starting to make their way back up again towards the severe advantage that Dust have given themselves. Because, I mean, there's a point when you give yourself so much advantage, one throw isn't enough to win the enemy team the game. I mean, you have to throw maybe 3 times or 4 times before it reaches equilibrium, and then you still have a ways to go before Infected will actually get ahead. So Infected, they show life. They aren't out of this one yet. They still have some pretty decent team fight, but I think judging by how long that was going, I think you can attest to this. It was just in the back of hecticness that they were able to win that one. Now another static field will go down. 2 heroes inadvertently catch themselves, but Boo's the only one trapped in the kinetic field. Out comes Handball, cleaning up Moda in no time at all. He'll just running away here. Now we have, well, Mate gets his reincarnate popped. And Ban is looking to stun him out, but he will get Vortex up. And now Handball going back behind. Cleans up Ban. Will go for Sparks. Looking at it. 1 Metal Strike plus a couple of auto attacks. He finds himself a triple kill. Noob style looking for more. He will get glimpsed back into the kinetic field and surrounded by Green. He is dead. Pushing up daisies as the Brewmaster as an ultra kill for Handball. 4 down, all with buyback. May have to spend it here, as they're just going to go up on the high ground, and they're going to push racks. Desolator done on the Templar Assassin.
Honestly, I just don't see Infected as having a chance to do anything, even if they had their ultimates go off, which they didn't. They're still on cooldown. It's a really rough uphill battle to win. Razor had Aghanims on the Courier. Courier's back in 14 seconds. They don't even need it to finish this game, but it's icing on the cake to burn down these buildings and to get him the stats he needs to live. So this team, Handball can't even get taken down with his refraction. Also coupled with the amount of items that he has an experience advantage and stun right now on Sparks. Looks like Boo trying to follow it up, gets a Ravage on 2, Mate involved in that, but still not able to do anything. Echo Slam goes right into those refraction charges I was talking about on Handball, who finally will get taken down in the back end of the base as his team retreats. Mate did not have his ultimate up, and I thought he did with as aggressive as he was playing, but they lose 2 in exchange for overstaying their welcome.
But they get a Rax.
Yeah, exactly. But they had the racks. I mean, they already did. They were going on bottom. They were being greedy about it. I still don't think it matters. It's a drop in the pond compared to the overall talk that we're having this game. Looks like Ban in a ton of trouble. 470 trying to get him. Follow-up from Skyrath was just huge right there. I can't even believe the amount of damage that Mother just put out right on top of him. That was insane.
So the courier dying, looks like that was the Ags done on Heisenberg.
Yeah.
So that's
what I said.
Stopped. So yeah, so that Ags is coming up, ready to go onto Razor. He's going to be able to burn down buildings with that one. And Noob Style could be in a little bit of trouble. They throw down a kinetic field to burn his retreat path. Loki taking a guess on the TP or on the blink, looking for Noob Style. He needs one kinetic field to spot him out. He's going to throw it down. If he can find it, he can go with the glimpse won't do much at this point. And already it looks like Noob Style going to blink himself out of there anyway. So Loki going to blink out of the trees. They're fine with that one. Just ready to go again and fight another day. But with a Rax down already on the side of the Infected Gaming, there is very little I think they can do to come back from this. With one lane already pushing in at all times, even though it looked like they overstayed their welcome in the last fight, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. Now, Handball does have his Desolator completed. He did get sent back to the Fountain, even, albeit the more costly way, but with a Desolator Crystallis finished up on him, we take a look back. The action's going down. It's a Reincarnate going out onto Mate, but he's going right back in. We'll clean up Sparks. And oh my god, Ban just getting destroyed. A Mystic Flare coming down, missing really on everyone. Boo gonna go and try to clean up 470, but gets cleaned up by Handball. Now the Brewling's getting chased down simply because that's where the Brewmaster's gonna end up. And either day, she's just not gonna even come out of it. The GG's, the tap out, they say no more as they want to just go next. And I would have said that call would have been smart 10 minutes ago. It seems a little bit late right about now, but overall, that game,
it's the same story as last game.